Okay, so what we have done in the last session was we have seen the component, and inside the component we have seen how we can create basically objects in the components, how we can create properties, how we can create array, correct, and how we can do property binding and event binding. But what we have missed or not covered in last session was how to add a new component, correct. So first of all, we see how we can add a new component, and we'll make sure that the new component which we create will be available in our application, right. Let's see how we can add new components, and then we see how we can call those component in our project. Okay, so very first thing you see, we already have a default component where we have done all this programming, correct. So this is not going to be the case in real time scenario. In real time scenario, as I said, for every functionality you will be having a component. Okay, for every functionality you will be having one component, correct, no matter how big and small that functionality is. But for every functionality you will see a component. Okay, so let's add a component first. Okay, so what is the command to add a component, or what we should do to add a component? Let's see that. Right, so one second, let's go to our command prompt. Correct, so we are still in our command prompt, which says our project is running, right. So what we do is we'll kill our server basically, correct. So we destroy our server, node server, and what we need to do now is we say ng g for generate. Okay, ng g. So what we're saying, hey Angular, do what? Generate what? Generate component. Although there's a shortcut to generate component, instead of full name component you can type C. So ng g c. So Angular, ng means Angular generate, g for generate what? C for component. So Angular generate component. But what is the name of the component? So I say, for example, login, right? Login component, just login. Don't put component after it, because by default when Angular create a component, it will add a name called component, add a suffix called component automatically. Okay, so don't intentionally add, let's say, login component. Don't do that. Automatically when this login component will get created, Angular command will already add the suffix at the end, right. So let's put enter and see what is going to happen. So Angular generate component name, right. So what you will see is, you will see, yeah, you can see at the left hand side. Is it visible to all of you? CLS, yeah, yeah. So now you can see at your left hand side, correct, you can see a login folder has been created. See, login css, login html, login spec file means test case file, then login component.ts, correct. Same like app cs, app html, app ts, correct. Similarly we have login ts, login html, login css. As of now I don't need testing file, so let's remove it, correct. So you can see all three files has been created. So you have created a component, a basic functionality called login is there in our project, and we have created a component for it. Okay, let's see this component, how it is going to look like, because this is first time you have created, so you should see how it looks like basically, right. So it looks like the same way, the way your app component look like, which you have seen in the start. So you can see a basic skeleton of a component has been generated, which means they have a login component, I mean component class, they have the selector name, they have the URL, template URL, I mean the HTML file, correct. As I told you in last to last session, that that component is basically a composition of at least one HTML plus a class file. So do we have that? Answer is yes. We have a HTML file, this one, and we have a class file, which is this one. So that get together, create a component. So what is this ng on it that you've seen, first time now? So ng on it is nothing but your lifecycle hook. So lifecycle hook means when the component basically starts, when the component initialize, there are some predefined functions which used to call predefined functions, not user defined functions, functions which is not created by you, predefined functions. So those functions are called lifecycle hooks. For example, ng on init, this is one of the lifecycle hook, means after constructor, when the component will initialize, then this lifecycle hook will get called. Like this, there are 6 more lifecycle events or hooks or functions. Basically, ultimately they're functions only. There are 6 more lifecycle hooks or functions which get calls automatically. You don't need to create it. Automatically it get called. You just need to call them and then it will call, right? You don't need to create it, I'm saying. It is not user defined function. They are predefined functions. You just need to call them. So to call ng on init, we need to call, right? We need to implement from ng on it interface. Okay. So how many of you doesn't know about the interface part? How many of you doesn't know about the interface? What is interface? Anyone from the group who say I don't know the interface? So you all know about the interface, right? You all know at least the basic part of interface. Is that yes? Good. So Pranshu has a question, can we generate a component from another terminal going to same directory? Yes, why not? You can create another terminal, and then from another terminal you can basically generate anything, but it should point to the same folder structure, right? Okay, so implement interface basically is nothing but which is a collection of methods, and properties basically in TypeScript, correct? So you have some predefined functions in interfaces that you need to provide body in wherever that interface is getting called, which means in simpler term, if you are implementing from the interface, you have to give body to the method of interface. Okay, so for example, let's see an example. If I just comment it, okay, see a few items before we touch the component further, right? Sorry. So if you see now, we have implemented for the from the interface, means we have inherited the interface, but now you can see it has generated an error. It says property ng on it is missing in the type login component, but it is required type on it, which means what it's saying is you have implemented from the interface called on init, but you have not give body to its method. So what does that mean is you have to, if you have implemented from the interface, you have to give body to its method. Okay, you have to provide body to its method, correct? So I mean, when we go further in the course, we'll see the interface, no problem, correct? We'll discuss about this interface. Most probably when we touch the service part, I will elaborate the interface again. I mean, I will elaborate the interface at that time. I will show you how you can make use of interface. In the last session, we have seen how we can make use of a class. Remember, we created a class type, class called course, and then use it. Similarly, when we use services, I will show how to create an interface and then use the interface as a type. Okay, so we'll go in that part slowly and step by step, gradually. So as of now, I guess this is understood, right, to all of you, that this ng on it is nothing but one of the predefined method, correct, that is available in the lifecycle hooks of a component, correct? So it is one of the lifecycle hook of a component, correct? So what do you mean by lifecycle hook? Again, lifecycle hooks means when a component basically, right from the component initialization till the component get destroyed, whatever events used to come, correct? Whatever events or function, predefined function used to come are called life cycle hooks. Okay, so ng on it is one of it, and a very common life cycle hook, because in this one we usually call APIs. We call APIs, right, in this life cycle, or in this event. Simple event function, event or predefined function, right? Or life cycle hook. Life cycle hook. Okay, so this is how a template of, or a skeleton of, a newly created components look like. Newly created component look like. Okay, same old story, no new thing. Then you know that we have a HTML file, correct, where it is just written login works. Then there's a CSS file. Okay, we will also not touch this one as of now, and see how can we call this login component. Now this login component has been created by us, but it will not get called until and unless we call login component, correct. It will not get called automatically. I know, you guys, I mean, didn't know about this part, have never worked on it, right? But just out of curiosity, I just wanted to check, the thought process. I mean, if it is wrong answer, I'm fine with it. Don't worry about it. Just tell me, if I want to call login component, where I should be calling it. Just, I mean, throw an idea. Don't worry about right and wrong. Whatever comes in your mind, just speak. And but be thoughtful. Okay, think. Just think and give a rough idea. No issues. If it is not correct, I'm fine with that. Just think for a minute or for some seconds, and then tell me, this login component is not going to call as of now. Answer is no, it is not going to call as of now, because we have not hooked it. Okay, so you tell me, if I wanted to call this one, where I should be calling it. Where? Any idea? Okay, so Nitin is saying app.module, Mehboob is saying app.module. Okay, Pranshu from Gurukul is also saying login component should be called at the backend. Okay, Rohit is saying app component file. Okay, okay, anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, let me just show you. I mean, you all are right, but not in a sequential manner. So first of all, I will show who are saying in the component module file. Let's see app module file. So in app module file, you can see it is already called. It is already in the declaration. So that is why I said you are right. So I need to hook it basically, but it is automatically hooked. Why? When you generate a component through that ng command, it will automatically add that component in the declaration under app.module file. No worries, it will automatically get hooked the moment you create component through ng generate command, ng command. Okay, so login component is there in the module file, so no worries. Correct, I don't need to do that work. Done. Now what are the other answers? So Sandeep and Mohit are saying in main HTML component. What is main HTML component? Okay, so Mohit has already, Rohit is saying app component TS. Okay, Sandeep is saying app component. So app component has three files basically, CSS, HTML and TS. So which file of app component I should call? So Mehboob is saying TS, Sandeep is also saying TS, Mohit is saying app.component.html. Mohit, any specific reason why, reason why I need to call it an app.component.html? Any specific reason that why why you want to call, or why this newly created component, login component, should be called an app component.html file? Any reason? So Mohit is saying because our browser execute HTML file. Guys, do you agree with Mohit? Guys, do you agree with Mohit? Should it be called an app component HTML or it should get called in app component.ts. Which file do you see it should get called? Guys, think and then answer. No pressure, but yes, I need answer from your side. So Rohit is saying TS, Mehboob is saying TS. Okay. Anyone else wanted to try? No? Sony, you wanted to try? Sony, Pinky. Do we have Pinky today? Yeah, we have. So any suggestion from your side? So Ravi is saying HTML. Good. Okay. So Ravi also contributed. Sony is saying TS. Mehboob is saying first of all we have to call it in app.component.ts and then the module file. Okay. I let me not take more time, correct? Because this is basic, and it's good if we are doing, if we are investing that much time on basic. It absolutely fine, guys. Don't think that we are emphasizing or focusing more on the basic initially. It may delay the live project and all. Don't worry about the live project. Live project, I will not be asking questions like this. We'll be doing our work. Okay. This is the time where you can see practically as well as theoretically. So there's no harm in investing little more time in these basic things. Okay. So I straight away come to the point. First thing was this newly created module, sorry, newly created component has to get added in the app.module file. That is for sure true. So this happened automatically. I don't need to do it deliberately. It happens automatically with the ng command. Done. Finish. What is the next thing? This thing, this entry of login component or newly created component in app.module is just an injection. Okay. It means when your app module will load, it will call login component also. Correct. It will load or initialize, or no, not initialize. It will load. It will call, right, or it will inject, or login component get inject at the time of app module loading. Okay. Or when app module will get load, it will call login component as well. Correct. It will load login component as well. Fine. But even after this step also, even after step 1 also, login component will not appear or will not come on the HTML file or in the index file, index.html file. Why? Because it is not called. It is not called yet. It will be available in the browser, but it will not get called on the HTML. Very simple reason, because we have not called it. Correct? We have not called it. So yes, Mohit is absolutely right, and Ravi is also right. It should be called on the app.html. Okay, it should be called at app.html. Now my simple so what I'll do is I'll control A and I will comment all, and here I will simply say h1 app component, right? App component h1, and yeah, I commented everything else and simply say app component. So now you tell me, now Mohit, Ravi, you said in app.component.html. So now my next question, follow-up question is how? Okay. Much before you answer how, let me just give 30 seconds to this part, that why I need to call it in app.component.html file. Guys, remember in last session what did I tell you? When you create an Angular CLI project, the very basic structure is it'll be having at least one app.module, one module file, which is by default app.module file. It's a parent module file. Then one HTML file, app.component.html. It is a basic. It is the master page, you can say. It is the main page, you can say. It is the main HTML page, you can say. Correct? Which is getting called in index.html. Index.html. You can see. Let me just open all the files parallelly. That then it will be very easy for you guys to understand it. So HTML and then TS file also. Yeah. Let's see some more segregations. Now I guess it makes sense. Yeah. So what is the flow basically? One second. what is the flow? Yeah. So let me just annotate and show you the flow. Although you have already seen it, but still one more time. So in the index file, when index.html will get load in the browser, it will call your app component. Guys, agree? Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you agree or not? Your app component, correct? In app component, you all agree? Yeah, great. So in app component, correct? In your app component, because remember what I told you, if you want to call a component in an HTML file, you need to use its selector name. That is why the selector name is used. That is why in HTML, index.html, app components selector name is called app root. See, app root, right? Correct, team? And that's how now your app component is called here in the HTML. That is why, that is why, right? That is why this whole component, correct, is called uh, one second. So okay, I'll come back to the previous point. So because we called app-root is basically a selector name of your app component. And as I told you in the last session, that when you wanted to call component, correct, in the HTML file, one component in some another HTML file, you need to call the component by the selector name. That is why the whole app component, correct, is called in the index.html. Correct? When I say whole HTML component means you have this class as well as you have this whole HTML. Correct? Because component calling means you're calling the HTML as well as you're calling the class. Do you guys agree on this point? Yes or no? Simple question. So calling a component means you're calling the class as well as the HTML file. Both will get hooked or injected, right? Into the HTML. Is this clear to all of you? Because that is the base for the next part. Is this clear to all of you? Anyone who wants me to repeat again? Anyone who say I don't understand this part? Anyone? 1, 2, 3, sold. Okay. So everyone agree with me, correct? Again, one more time, guys. If you say you don't understand, I'll repeat one more time. No question? Okay. Now I will ask question to you. Okay. Now you tell me in index.html page, we have app root, correct? And I've already told you that calling app root means we are calling app component. So entire app component will get called in the index page. Now this is the only way. Index page, in the index page, we have the app component because that's a startup component. So we cannot call any other component because app component is only the startup component. Now I wanted to call some other component called, let's say, login component. So I cannot call the login component in the index page. Why? Because in index page, we already set what is our startup component, what is our base component, what is our parent component. So our parent component, startup component, is app component. So apart from app component, we cannot put, right, any other component, right, in the HTML. Now we need to load all our components, correct, in the application. So on the index.html, we cannot load. So what is the thing pending? I mean, what is the place left with us is app component. So in app component, you will be calling all the other child components. You got my point? So consider uh, your whole college or your whole university is like one component. Your whole college premises, correct? Your whole college premises, consider that one as one single parent component, a LAN, correct? On that LAN, you will see multiple classrooms has been built. correct? So those multiple floors, multiple classrooms are nothing but the smaller or child components, correct? So if someone says from your college authority, we wanted to build one more room, so where that room is going to build? On the college land, correct? So if someone says in the application, I wanted to add a component, so where that component will be built in the sense means where this component will get called? In the app component. Is that part agree, guys? I mean, this part clear, guys? Any question, any doubt on that part? Any question, any doubt on this theory, this flow, this workflow, that all the child components, all the other components, correct, will be treated as a child component one, and all these child components like login, registration, right, whatever you say, all these child components will be part of your, will be part or will be shown, will be called over or in your app component, whatever way you understand it, right? So the face will be in index.html, there will be app component, so app component will be the face. In or at app component, we will add all other child component. Your app component will be root component, base component, parent component. Okay, so I guess that you all understood now. It's freeze in your mind, right? Great. So even Pinky agree. So I am passed in the litmus test, right? Thanks, Pinky. So now my question, now my turn. How I should be calling login component? I wanted to call login component here, correct? Right? I wanted to call, I commented it. Commented means commented, it means this will not run basically, right? This will not get compiled in technical term. So I commented this line login component. So don't worry, it's just a comment. So now you tell me how I should be calling the login component here in the app.component.html. And before that, the basic question was because lot of you think that the login component should be called at app component.ts, at or inside app component.ts. But what I'm saying is it should be called in app component.html. So there are two basic questions. So Meher is saying, sir, your voice is breaking, I'm not able to understand. Okay, Meher is still breaking. Is it breaking for all of you guys? Is it breaking for all of you? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, so there's an internet issue at your side, guys. Okay, fine. Let me just double check. No, my side is all good. Okay, coming back to the topic. So two questions. Why shouldn't we call login component, right, in app component.ts, correct? And let's resolve the resolve this issue first, or this point first. Why we should not call login component in app component, I mean app component.ts file? Why we shouldn't be calling it inside the ts file? Okay, so as I told you, the sequence, correct? So it is HTML driven, correct? So in the HTML we call the app component, and inside app component we need to call the login component. That is how login component will be appear on the HTML. So that is why it should not be called in app component.ts, correct? Is that clear to you? We want that login component should be appeared in the HTML file. So to make it appear in the HTML file, I need to call it in the index.html. But question is, in the index.html, only one component can be called. That has to be your parent component. So our parent component is app component. So which means your login component should be called, or any other component should be called inside your app component. Now in your app component, you have two files. One is the TS file, one is the HTML file. So which app component file, TS file or HTML file? Since we are talking about loading a component in the HTML structure, HTML page, so that is why we need to call the component in the HTML file. Is that clear to all of you guys? Are we good? Yes or no? Is this clear to all of you? Yes or no? Anyone who says no or didn't understand, very important part, guys, don't take it lightly. Don't think this is part of theory or we'll see it somewhere sometime else. No. Okay, so Ravi says no. So Ravi, can you be precise and say which part you didn't understand? So Pinky says, sir, please repeat again. Last part. Okay, no problem. Last part one more time. What I'm saying is, any component, any child component, when you call, I'll start from the second part. Any child component that you want to call, correct, has to be a part of your app component, correct? Because app component is your parent component. So your child component should be part of your app component, directly or indirectly. So as of now, we are talking about directly. Indirectly, how? I'll tell you later. Later in the session, when we go to advanced part, you will understand how indirectly it will get called. So long story short, any child component which you create, login, registration, course, trainers, to do, whatever component you want, you need to call it in the app component. Now in app component, $1,000,000 question is, you have two files in app component. One is component.ts, second is component.html, app component.html, app component.ts. So next question was, why we should not call login component inside app component.ts? Because we are talking about login component to be appeared over the HTML, appeared inside the HTML, right? So that is why we will pick app component.html to load the login page or login component. Long story short, we will be loading our login component or registration component or course component or trainer component or whatever component you create. We will be calling our components, correct, in the HTML page, app.component.html page, because we want our component should be part of HTML structure, the DOM, document object model. Your HTML page is nothing but your DOM, document object model. So we want our newly created component, our child component, should be part of DOM, should be part of HTML structure. That is why we need to call the component in the HTML file, right? app.component.html file. Is that clear to all of you now? Pinky, Ravi, is it clear to you? Ravi, is it clear to you? Understood? Does it answer your question? Great, 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 super, super. Now my last question, and then we take off from here. How? That also I told you in the last session, if you remember. What I should do, okay? Just tell me in the chat. It need not to be absolutely correct. Just tell me, if I wanted to call a component in HTML file, if I wanted to call a component in an HTML file, how should I be calling the component? By the class name or by the selector name? I've given you the hint also. I've given you the option also. If I wanted to call a component in the HTML file, how I should be calling a component in an HTML file? By the component's selector name or by component's class name? So Mohit is saying selector. Pranshu, in fact, written the code itself. Okay, so Pranshu, can you tell me this app-login what it is? Nitin is saying selector. Pinky is saying class name. Okay, Ravi is saying selector name. Pranshu is saying selector name. So Deepam is saying class name. Okay, so let me tell you, Deepam and Pinky, you missed here. So no worries, no problem. Now you will remember it forever. So whenever you wanted to call a component in an HTML file, in a HTML file, you have to call a component by a selector name, correct? Because HTML understands selector. Whenever you wanted to call a component in some other TS file, correct? In some other class file, in some other TS file, if you wanted to refer or call, you will be calling a component by its class name. Okay. So if you wanted to call a component in TS file, in some other TS file, you have to call the component by the class name. If you want to call a component in an HTML file, in some other HTML file, right? Then you have to call that component by its selector name. Is that clear? So how we need to call, let's see what is the selector name of login. So we go to login component and we see what is the selector name. Selector name is app login. Selector name is app login. So I will be calling my component like the same, right? App login, done. Okay. So here I called my login component. See how simple it is. You must be thinking why Ajay is revolving around the same topic. So guys, I guess you might have got the answer also. It's basic. If you don't remember the basic, if you don't understand the basic, you will miss the trick, you will miss the bus. Okay. For live project also, basics are very, very, very important, more important than your advanced part. Okay. It's like the basic steps of swimming, correct? At least that you have to remember, or that you have to memorize. Basically, you should be clear about that, correct? So like this, you can call your login page. So most important thing, your login component or any new component should be part of your module file, because then only it will get load in the DOM. Means that only it will get, then only it will get load in the browser. Second important thing, that login component should be called, or that component, newly created component, should get called in the app component HTML file. Okay. So that's a thumb rule. Okay. So let's see this login component called or not. Let's check. So we go to our project, right? It's not required now. Yeah. So we did not run our server. So let's run it. So I've already killed the server, so I need to start it again. So I say ng serve, or you can type npm start. So npm start will also call ng serve command only. Npm serve, sorry, npm start, enter. So you can see, yeah, you can see npm start eventually called ng serve command only. So npm basically talking to node, sorry, npm node. Npm is node package manager, which means node. Node is talking to Angular and running the Angular project basically. So node has poked or basically pricked your Angular. Angular has started the live development server, correct? First of all, it is compiling all the code, then live development server it has been started, of course with the help of node only. I mean your Angular live development server is nothing but your node. So your site is uploaded at localhost 4200. So we run and we can see app component and we can see login. But how to prove that yes, login component is there in the DOM? Let's see the inspect element. It's a very beautiful tool. A lot of people know about it, but if you don't know about this tool, let me just show you how you need to call it. So you say right click and you can say inspect element, right click, inspect element, or you can press F12. So the moment you press F12, your console will open, your develop what do you call it, console. Yeah. So your console will basically open. So in the console, basically you can check your DOM. This is your DOM, your HTML structure, which got loaded in your browser is your HTML structure. We call it DOM also, document object model. So if you open it, correct, you can see app root, right guys? You can see app root. In app root, you can see h1 tag, which we put app component, correct? In which we put app component. I mean, in which we put h1 tag app component, and then you can see app login also. See app login component. So in the app component, now you have app login component, correct, loaded. And if if you open this, so you can see, you can check your paragraph tag is there, your HTML is loaded. So I'm talking about this guy, paragraph tag. So let me add few more lines. I say UL, and I say not ULLI. Let me just add a few more things. I said table, okay. Inside table I said TR. Inside TR I said TD. TD, in the TD I say user name, correct. In the next TD, in the next TD, I will add a text box. So it's a basic HTML, programming to add a text box. So I'll say it's a, as I said, it's a basic HTML programming. You don't need to be master in HTML. So I'm just adding a basic HTML tag called input. So input type, not style, input type, text, right? And like this, let me call password also. Here in the case of password, your text box type should be password. That is how you see asterisk when you write a password. You see asterisk. Basically, your browser doesn't show the password because the input type, right, is password. So input type text means text box. Input type password means again text box, but the type is password, which means whatever text you write, it will not show. Asterisk will come instead of that. And then the last TR where we can add a button. So I say login, very simple. Login. No event I have added as of now. I just wanted to add a HTML. Let's see, will this appear on your login page or not? So we go to, yeah, you can see, correct. So if you expand the login, app login, correct, app login component, so you can see we have paragraph tag, and then you can see we have a table. In the table we have three TRs, just like just the way we have done. So it is showing all those things over here. So what do you say, guys? Cool, right? Simple, easy, straightforward. Yes or no? So now let's do a little programming also. I mean, little programming means little styling also. Sorry. So to add a little styling, what I can do is I can go to yeah, I can go to the login CSS file, style file, okay, and there what I can do is I can create a class. I can say box class. So do you guys know about the class CSS class? Anyone of you who doesn't know about CSS class, CSS class, CSS styles? Basic, I'm talking about only basic, no advanced part, only basic. Anyone of you who is not aware of the basic CSS class? Anyone? Okay, let's see. Okay, so Meher is saying I don't know, sir. No shoes, no problem. So we have three kind of styling. Basically we can do styling in three ways. Okay, one is creating a class. One is creating a class by creating a CSS class. You can create, I mean, you can add a styling. Got a point? Second way is by ID of the element. By the ID of the element. You know ID of the element? ID? Meher, you know the ID of the element? So let's say I go to login, and to the table I'm giving ID, right? I say TBL. I say login TBL. Okay, that's my table ID. Login TBL is my table ID. Is that clear to all of you guys? Do you already know that in HTML we can add ID, we can add class? Do you know this or not? Yes or no? Yes or no? So I have added an ID called login TBL. I have added a class called login class, right? Clear, guys? And here, instead of box class, I say login class. It will make sense. Let me just check. Anyone says no? Okay, so Mary is saying no, Pinky is saying no. Okay, no problem. So in HTML, basically, in HTML, we can, for the styling purpose, okay, for styling purpose, or for fetching the HTML dynamically, correct? To play with HTML dynamically. For example, I wanted to color the table. I wanted to color the table. Uh, Table with the red, for example. I wanted to. Have you seen some part of HTML become colorful sometime in any of the site? In any of the site, you see, you do something, and then that portion become colorful. Simple example. How? That is dynamic programming, dynamic HTML programming, correct? So to have or to do a dynamic HTML programming, correct? For example, styling the HTML dynamically on some value change. So we need this class. We need ID, correct? So ID is first of all the uniquely identifier of my element. So if my table is having, if you put login table as an ID of this table, so now in the entire DOM, this this table, correct? Whenever we talk about login TBL, we are talking about this table, just like your registration number, just like your roll number, okay, registration number I should say. So in the college, if I pass the registration number, let's say RG12345 6, and if that registration number is assigned to Meher, so then that means, as you all know, that means none of the other student will be having the same registration number. So in entire college, correct, your registration number is unique, your ID is unique. Similarly, in the entire DOM, in entire HTML structure, this ID would be unique. So whenever someone will talk about login hyphen TBL, which means they're talking about this table, because there might be many number of table in the DOM. Yes or no? Just like there are many number of Meher, there might be 5 Meher in your college, but which Meher we are talking about? So by ID we can basically identify. So one is the ID in the HTML, second is the class, and third is the element name itself. So class is nothing but a group. The name itself defining is meaning class. So for example, I say class IT. So all the student, when I say class IT, which means I'm talking about all the student who belongs to class IT. So where ID says unique, correct? Where ID is saying, where ID is saying uniqueness, where ID is defined the uniqueness, correct? So one ID means a unique ID to that element. At that time, your class says group. So whichever element has the login class, correct, will be falling under the login class group. Which means, if I say IT class, correct, or computer science class, so I'm talking about all the students, including the teacher, who belongs to your CS class, right? So class is for group, ID is for the uniquely identification. And the third way through which we can do styling is element name. So third is the element name. So if I say element name means, so here first of all let me just put ID. So hash login TBL. Yeah. So in the styling, for ID we use hash, for class we use dot, and third way through which we do styling is by element name. Element name. So element name is pretty simple. Element name is your predefined element, like table, body, div, span, strong, correct? Your BR, HR, input, button, correct? Section, article, header, nav, footer. all the input HTML, correct? Your scripts, styles. So all the predefined elements of HTML, correct, fall under the element part. You getting my point, guys? All the markups. HTML means what? What? Hypertext markup language. So all the markups are your elements. As I said, as I give an example, your body, HTML, script, style, BR, div, span, strong, table, button, correct? All are elements basically, right team? So I can take element like table and I can put the style. I can put the style table. I can put the style. Now, which one we should take? We spent 30 seconds on this part. How we should, I mean, what is the best way of doing the styling? When all three are available, what is the best way of doing the styling? So we start from class. So when we do class, when we basically do a class styling, when we want to apply the style on the group, entire group. For example, I wanted to give notification to all the members of the CS class. So what should be the better way? Should I be sending an email to each and every to each and every student? Like I will pull, you know, I will mail it to registration number 1, then registration number 2, then registration number 3, 4, 5, 6, like this. 250 students are there in CS. So if I need to, let's say, give a notification of something, or some event is there for, let's say, class CS. So what is the better way? What is the better way? I should be having a class ID and I should be giving notification to class ID. So the moment I give notification to class ID, which means I will go and put a pamphlet in front of a class door, or I can give the pamphlet to the class teacher. Means I will do this notification at the class level, and automatically all the team members, sorry, the students will get the notification automatically. It applies to all the students. Is that clear to all of you guys? Yes or no? Is it correct? Yes or no? So you understood when to use class? Did you understand this part? So when I wanted to apply the style on a group, correct? Then I use the class. When I'm talking about applying a style on a particular section of HTML, then I apply the ID. Then I put the style at the ID level, which means I want to, let's say, style a particular element, fixed element, particular element. I mean, no group, only that particular element. Then I need to apply the style as per the ID. And then finally is the table. This is very dangerous. Do it very consciously. This means element. Element level styling means, when I say table is one of the element. I say body is one of the element, right? So when I apply a style on table, do remember guys, whatever style you put in the entire DOM, you might be having 500 components, right? We have seen one. You might be having in one HTML structure, you might be having 500 components. So if you apply style, let's say if you apply style on table, so wherever the table is called, correct? Let's say 500 component use the table, which means each and every component has a table. And if I apply style, like for example color, or I say background color, I say light gray, right? Like this. Then do remember all the tables in the entire DOM, wherever the table has been called, in whichever component the table has been called, all the tables will have a background as light gray. Okay, so this is very dangerous. When you are sure that you're talking about a common or generic style overall for the entire page, entire application, then only you do all these things, correct? When you're talking about the precise what do you call element, then you use ID. For example, if I wanted to give a notification to a particular student of CS class, then I will be calling and then I will be sending a notification to his ID, his or her ID, right? And class is something that, if you put the same thing in a class, so now it will apply, correct? So class level, let's say I put orange, and ID level, let's say I put 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 okay, yellow, right? And element level I put light gray. Getting my point, guys? So now I have ID also for the table. I have class also for the table. So let me just show it to you. And I have element table also. I just copy paste. Let me first of all show you what is going to happen. Let's see that first. Okay. So after putting the styling, now you see the table background color is yellow. Correct? The table background color is yellow. Can you guys tell me why? Any any specific reason why? Any specific reason why? Yes, the reason is overridden. One style overridden the second one. But I'm saying why or how? Why it is overridden? So yellow I have given in the ID. Yellow I have given in the ID. No. It's not about style URL. So what I'm saying is the yellow I have given in the ID. So ID is going to win. Correct? So first preference will be given to ID. Or you can say ultimately ID is the one which will get the overridden authority or priority. Okay. If I comment, let's say the ID, or let's say if I remove ID from here, let's see now who will get the authority. I saved it. So now I have class, I have put style at class level, and I have put style at the element level. Let's see who will win. See, now the color is orange, right? Why? Because then second priority will be given to class. If I comment the class, if I go and remove the class also, now of course element is left behind. So now the authority will be given to, or sorry, priority will be given to the element. See, guys, is that clear? Yes or no? Did you understand this part or no? Did you understand this part or no? Anyone who say I did not understand? Okay. So all good. So now what we do is leave the ID part. Let's put a class because ID is like precise. Or let's do this thing because we are talking about login only. So it's good we can put a class. Sorry, it will good we can put a ID because we're talking about we're not talking about the group. We're talking about specifically the login form. So yes, we can give the ID. Best way would be ID, and ID is faster. ID is faster also. So I'm commenting, the class and the table style, right? So this is good. Let me put yellow here and orange here. Okay. So ID, I give the styling, and now let's see what else we can do quickly. So we go to, you can see when you select, this is the selector, this is element selector. So when you click on the element selector and you hover on the element on the page, correct, on the page. So if let's say I select, see, I select the table, so table will get highlighted, and at the same time you can see its style will open up over here. Please pay attention guys over here. This is very important. This is your bread and butter. So as of now I have selected this table. You can see over here I have selected a table, correct, and you can see its style also got selected, right? You can see its style also gets selected. So now if I go here in the style section, please pay attention guys. If I go to the style section means where I have applied the style. So I have applied the style at the ID. So that style, what I put in the CSS has been opened here. Good, it's superb, right? So I can change the style from here. For example, I wanted to see what other color it will. I mean, what is the other color which I can give it to it, correct? So I can directly check over here. So I can say, I can check like this: Alice blue, aqua, beige, like this. I can check all the colors. So if I say this is what I look, this is what I prefer. Coral, coral looks good. So coral, and then I can add more styles also and check. So one of the common style. I'm not going to the fancy style. I'm just playing with a simple style. For example, I wanted to change the background color. Very simple. Background color change. So we have a style property called background color, which you can see, which I have put in the CSS. Next, I wanted to give some space inside space. I wanted to give inside space. You can see it is very hodgepodge. You can see username, password, button. It is starting from edge, correct? I wanted to give some inner space. Can you guys suggest me what is the style that I should give? Can you guys suggest me? So Mehboob saying padding. Yes. So for the inner space, what is the style we have? Padding, correct? So padding, I say padding what? Padding, I say padding top 20 pixel. See, from the top some space came. Padding, so first top, then right. So padding right, 20 pixel, correct? See, some space came. Then padding bottom. So top, right, bottom, and left. So then padding bottom, say 20 pixel again. You can see at the bottom also some space will come. And then we say padding left, 20 pixel. So now you can see some good space has been added around it. So now, is it looking good? Yes or no? Isn't it looking good? Yes or no? Right, team? Good. So, and now what else you can do is color. Color means text color. Let's see will this apply or not. Color means text color. So as of now, you can see text color is black. Username and password is in the black. So I want the text color should be white. So color equals to white. So you can see color means text color. So you can see text color has been changed to white. So now I checked that this looks good. But the moment I refresh my browser, guys, all these changes will go off. The extra changes which I put, padding right, bottom, top, left, right, and the color, this and background color also for that matter, which I changed to coral, this will go off because this is temporary. This is in your browser. The moment you refresh, just like I'm doing, the moment you refresh, see, it is removed. Again, I got background color as orange. So thank God I have copied it. So once you're done, once you see, yeah, it is looking good, and now I should apply the same. So what you can do is you can obviously apply, then copy that style, and then paste in your class. Okay, paste in your class. Is that clear to you? Yes or no? And now when you save, now it is permanent. Now these changes are permanent. You can see it got reflected here. Is it clear to all of you guys? Yes or no? Any question, any doubt you have? So Deepam, no means what? Is it clear or it is not clear? I mean, you have question, you don't have question. It's all good? Great, super. So this is one component, login component, okay? So now you understood how we create a component, how we give a basic styling to it, and then how we make sure that it will appear, correct, in your HTML page. How? By putting the newly created component in your app.component.html page. Correct? So Mehboob is saying, can we also work with HTML like this? I did not understand. You're talking about inline style. So the fourth way that I don't want to recommend as of now. I mean, when we, you know, step, I mean, when we grow old in this, at least when we start the live project, then I wanted to show you. Okay. We can give the inline style also. The fourth way of giving the style is inline style. I can give inline style, but that I will start when, you know, actually you will start working with the live project, because that is not a recommended way. Correct. But still we need it sometime. Then still we need it very badly sometime. Correct. So first I'm going with the proper way, the proper channel. That is the complete component programming. You have HTML, you have CSS, you have TS file, I mean class file. Correct. Okay. So now what next? So we have seen a new component we created, we styled it, and we added here in the app.component. So now it is available on the available in the HTML page. Correct. So can we just try one more time? One more, I mean, one more, what do you call it? Component. Can we try one more component? What do you say, guys? One more component. Let's see multiple components, how they can be placed. So I can put an HR line. HR means line break, correct? And let's try to add one more component and see whatever we followed. Will it, you know, will it be same for other component also? Let's see. So now what we'll do is, for this multiple component, in this multiple component section, what we'll do is we'll go to our server again. We kill the server. Okay. Then we add one more component. We say ng-gc, and then I say registration. Register. Register. Okay. So ng means Angular command, right? Then G means generate, C means component, and register is nothing but the component name. So I say enter and just see what it is going to show. Enter. Let's check what is going to happen. So it is running. Give it some time, few more seconds. Yeah, so you can see what happened. You can read now again. It has created one component dot register.component.html file. It has created one register.component.spec file, means test case file, unit test case file. It has created one component register.component.ts file, where you'll find the class and the HTML link. It has created one register.component.css file, correct? So all these basic files bound to, you know, get created. It will create every time whenever you create a, you know, component dynamically with the help of ng command. And then you can see finally it has updated automatically, which we're supposed to do. It has updated automatically. It has updated your app module file also. So we'll start from here. Parallelly, I will say npm start, so that I don't need to, you know, come back here and again start the server. Let the server be in a started mode. So first of all, I would love to show you the module file again. So we go to app.module.ts file. You can see register component also get added, just like I told you in the last session about the structure of module, correct? Module file. Then in your module file, all your components, pipes, custom directives, correct? As of now, components, which you know, is going to come under the declaration array, right? So it has added the register component automatically in the module file. Now the only thing left with us is, let's see the register component. So if you go to register.component.ts, you can see the same skeleton what we saw in the case of login, correct? Same skeleton. And you can see the selector name of register, app register. So I guess now I don't need to tell you. Okay, let me ask you instead of telling you. Now I wanted to call this register, I wanted to call in HTML. How I should be calling it? I want to know the answer from all of you guys. I want to call now this register component in the HTML. How I can make sure that this register component will be part of your HTML? How? What I should do in this case? I need answer from all of you. Just tell me, like the logic. I don't require, if you don't remember the syntax also, I don't mind. Just tell me the logic. Where I should call it. Where I should call it. Very simple. So yes, Pranshu from Gurukul is saying app.component HTML, correct. Mabu is saying by selector name. Of course, by selector name, but where? Where, Mabu? So Mohit is saying using selector of register component, but again, where? Where, Mohit? Mabu is saying component.html. Which component.html? App component.html, right? App component.html. Yes, you all are right. So we go to app component.html. First of all, just remember the selector name. It's app-register. And as I told you, if you want to call a component in some HTML file, if you want to call component in some other HTML file, you have to call the component by its selector name. So I wanted to call this register component in the HTML, correct? So I need to use the selector name, which is app register, and I can go to the app component HTML here, and here I can basically call by its selector name. Save it, and now what you will see is this will got added. See, register works. So now we can see in the inspect element, correct? Anyone who is not aware of this part or missed this, let me just show you one more time. So press F12 or right click on the browser and say inspect element, correct? So here we have a inspector, basically inspector. You click inspector, you go to register works, and you can see in the DOM. See, first of all, your app root, your parent component, app component. Inside app component, you have two child component. One is login and second is register. See, login, register. So we are talking about register. So you can see in register, whatever is the default paragraph which get added by default, that you can see over here, right? And now the same way, you can go to register, same way, no change. You can go to register, and here also you can say table, and you can put some default stuff like your username, right? Things which is required to get register. So again, input type, text. Yeah, input type text. Automatically it came. So ID and name. We talk about this later when we do validation. We'll see the importance of name, right? As of now, just create the form. So username, email, again text box only, password, correct? Text box only, password, but your text type should be password, so that when you type, correct, no text should be shown to the user. Then last thing, mobile, and I guess then we're done. Mobile, your mobile number, so we can identify you, correct? So for mobile, I can say type is number, so that only numbers will be allowed. But usually, for mobile, we don't use number, because we add country code also. We add special characters like hyphen or plus. So it's not advisable. It's not a good practice to put input type as number, because if you put input type as number, it will only accept number and nothing else. Okay, and then finally we can have a button, td, say but button, yeah, and in the button you can say register or sign up, whatever, register, right? Save it. Let's see, will this be available on the page? Yes, it is, correct. And can we do some styling to it? Yes, we can now. So this table, I would say ID equals to, because I'm talking about this table style only, so it's always better to give ID instead of class, correct? When we're talking about specific component, when we're talking about specific HTML tag, or when we're talking about specific HTML section. So this table section, right, is specific to registration, and this style is not required at some other place. So better, right, will call by ID. which is as good as if I wanted to give notification to only one student. So I'll be mailing it to his or her ID, email ID, not at the class level. I will declare something, correct? So ID will give register table TBL. Okay. So I created ID. Now I'll go to class. I mean, sorry, CSS file. There I use hash. Remember I told you when we are talking about ID, when we need to give style to ID or style at ID level. So then your style will start from hash. Your styling will start from hash followed by your ID name, and then you can put all the styles which you have given to login. Same style I will put, only the color I will change. I copy from here and paste it over here, and only change I will do is instead of coral, let's give some other color. We have crimson. Okay, let's give crimson. Save, and we go back. Yeah, you can see here you are. Correct. So what is it, guys? Cool, right? Impressive. Looking good. Yes or no? Yes or no? So did you like this or not? So it's super cool. Now you can see, are you getting that feeling that yes, we can do that? I mean, I'm sure still you might be having doubt, but at least are you getting that feeling, correct? That yes, I can. I can contribute to life project. Yes, I can. Simple thing. Yes, I can. Are you getting that feeling? May not be a confident words, but are you getting that feeling? Right? Very simple. Only thing is you need to do things systematically. Rest, the whole framework, the framework, Angular framework will take care. You just need to do things systematically. You do systematically, no error, no bug, no one is going to bother you. But if you mess up, right? If you messed up, then it's a different story altogether. Correct. So do things systematically. That is why I still didn't tell you how to do inline styling, because inline styling is going to sabotage or destroy your whole page if you go wrong. If you've done something wrong, if you go in wrong direction, if you, let's say, put some unnecessary style or something, you messed up with the styles, then the whole structure, correct, whole padding, margins, styles, positions, everything will go for toss. Okay. So only when you get, when it is required, then only we should go with the inline style, and when the time will come, I'll tell you also, don't worry. Okay. So I guess we have proved, right, we have seen how we can add multiple component in our application. So like this, now you understood. So for every functionality we'll be having one component. Okay. So what we should do next, so multiple components done, and I wanted to show you some event programming also, but that event programming we already did in the last session on button click, taking all the data. Okay. So what we do is, let's see some dynamic stuff. Dynamic stuff means, let's say, changing the value dynamically in your form or on your HTML. Let's see that part. Okay. Let's see that part. Got my point? So let's see something dynamic. Okay. As of now everything looks static, but let's see something dynamic. Okay. So for that I need to I need to go in a separate project maybe, or is it fine to go with a new project, I mean new project, and then show dynamically? Or here we have already created two components, two child components, or here only in this example we see something dynamic? What do you say? What do you say, guys? Right? When you reach till, when you reach till this far, I would suggest let's take this one only and do some dynamic part. Yes, I also agree. Let's do it over here only. Okay, so guys, for that, just give me a break of 5 minutes. Yeah, just give me a break of 5 minutes. Right after 5 minutes, we'll immediately start the dynamic part. Okay, so I'll quickly come in 5 minutes. Till that time, you just think, correct? How we can, what dynamicity we can add into this form, right? I have in my mind. Let's see what you have in your mind. Okay, so I'm putting myself on mute and freezing my screen. I'm coming back in 5 minutes.